Edward Lee Thorndike was an influential American psychologist who was best known for his work on animal behavior, learning theories, and educational psychology. He was a prominent American psychologist, and he was born in August 31st of 1874. Born in Williamsburg, Massachusetts, he grew up in a family that valued education. This inspired his academic pursuits. He died on August 9th of 1949 in Montrose, New York. He is best known for his contributions to research in animal behavior and educational psychology, and his work laid the foundation for modern learning theories. He attended Wesleyan University, where he studied psychology, and later he pursued graduate studies at Harvard University under the mentorship of William James, who was a notable psychologist at that time. He married Elizabeth Moulton in 1900. They were married for 50 years. Thorndike and Elizabeth had 2 children, Robert Thorndike, who also became a psychologist like his father, and Alice Thorndike. Thorndike is most famous for his research on animal learning, specifically through his experiments with cats, which he called puzzle boxes, and this led to the formulation of the law of effect. This principle states that if behaviors are followed by satisfying outcomes, they are more likely to be repeated. This principle is fundamental to B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning, and it is some of what Skinner based his theories on. This theory also notes that negative outcomes lead to a decreased likelihood of behaviors occurring. In this experiment, the Thorndike would put cats in a puzzle box, and they would learn how to press a lever in order to get the food source that was outside of the box. As this principle theory was repeated, the cats would learn how to do the experiment quicker and quicker in order to get the satisfying outcome. His work laid the groundwork for many modern theories of operant conditioning, and it reinforced behavior in psychology. After earning his PhD from Columbia University, Thorndike spent most of his career there. He began to shift his focus to educational psychology, which included intelligence testing and measurement. He advocated for evidence-based teaching practices, and he developed standardized tests. He pioneered many approaches in measuring learning outcomes and intelligence. His contributions still significantly shape the fields of educational psychology and learning theory. He wrote several different texts, including Animal Intelligence in 1911 and The Measurement of Intelligence in 1926 and The Fundamentals of Learning in 1932. His writings emphasized practical applications of psychology in education, many of which applications we still use today. His work shaped modern educational psychology. He pioneered many approaches in measuring intelligence and learning, and he encouraged the use of psychological principles in teaching methods. His theories continue to influence psychology and education, and his emphasis on empirical research sets the standard for future studies. He believed that collecting data was a good way to determine if a theory was sound. Edward Thorndike was a foundational figure in psychology and education, and his research on learning and behavior remains relevant. When we reflect on how his contributions have shaped current educational theories, we can look at operant conditioning by B.F. Skinner and how that built upon Edward Thorndike's law of effect. Thorndike passed away in 1949, and he left a lasting legacy that continues to influence psychology, especially in learning and educational practices. He is one of the most notable psychologists and pioneers for the educational field. Thank you.